Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Stacy and this is the For Bricks and Giggles YouTube channel. For today's video, I have something a little bit different for you all. If you follow me on Instagram, you possibly saw a recent story I did asking people to ask me questions. Could be anything Lego related or not. So I have a whole list of questions that everyone had to ask. I've done something similar to this in the past, but I am right at the 10,000 threshold on Instagram, and I thought kind of with hitting that milestone, I would do another one since it's probably been at least a year since I did the last one. So I got a whole bunch of questions from people, and I'm gonna try and answer as many of them as possible. So let's get started. Okay, the first one I have here says, I see your awesome collection of sets, but do you ever make your own stuff with Lego just for fun? Honestly, for the most part, I really don't. I have my Etsy store where I make Christmas ornaments, and that started out as just like a fun thing to do kind of my own creations, but on a very small scale. But I've actually been backing off on that. Etsy fees are going up and it's becoming harder and harder to make a profit off of that. So I'm considering actually shutting that store down. We'll see. But no, I don't really have a whole lot of time for doing my own creations. And I'm just not as creative as I used to be. I guess because I don't really practice that kind of stuff anymore. I was a graphic design major in college, which is what I got my degree in. So I used to be super creative, but sometimes you just get burned out in college, and so I haven't spent as much time doing that kind of stuff. Possibly in the future, that would be a lot of fun. Next up, this person says, do you have multiple ways of tracking / logging your sets and individual pieces? I just have an Excel sheet to log all of my sets. So I have several columns: set number, set name, theme, number of pieces, year it came out, and then if I have the instruction manual for it or not. And then I also have an extra column in case I'm like have a special memory of something about that set, like, oh, my grandparents gave me this set. Oh, I got this set for my 10th birthday. You know, I can put stuff like that in that last column, or list if it's missing any pieces or something like that. But I don't do brick set or anything like that. I just have an Excel sheet to track all of that. All right, now we've got, what is the oldest model you own? I believe the yellow castle is 1981. For the American release of that set. So I have that one and the Public Works Center, which I believe was also 1981. So I think those are my oldest sets, and probably two of my favorite. They probably are both in the top 10 of favorite sets that I own. Definitely obsessed with the classics. I would pick a vintage set over a new set any day of the week. This one says, do you have Scala items in your collection? If not, are you planning to purchase a set from that line? They're even harder to get than Belleville. So I don't. I have some pieces in my store that are from Scala sets that I'm selling, but I've never actually gotten full Scala set, so I don't have any. If I came across one, I'd love to have one. Having one of everything is really like a cool thing to do. It's very rare that I complete a full line of a series. Usually I just like to have at least one from everything because it's just kind of cool to, you know, just have that kind of diversity. What music do you like to listen to? So it depends on the situation. I like a lot of like early 2000s R&B. So that's like if I'm at the gym, honestly, just like top 40 rap is what I listen to. And then if it's summertime and I'm like in my car, I live in the South, so I like some country music. Yeah, so a lot of old early 2000s R&B or rap that was out around that era, because it's just nostalgic of like my high school and college years too, which would have been a little bit later than the early 2000s, be around 2010. But yeah, I'm kind of basic when it comes to music, so I definitely like a lot of just like top 40 pop and rap. So a non-Lego question for you there. This person asks, what's the best way to find bulk Lego? I get that question a lot. There is no best way. It's really a challenge. So honestly, it's just constant vigilance and always searching. I know everybody wants to know like where you find them, when you find them, But there's, I mean, if I find one on one site one day, I might not find anything on that site for a full year. So it's just trying to look in as many places as possible. I think a lot of people's best bet is the Facebook Marketplace, because at least in a lot of cases, you're only searching against other people in your area. You know, any other website is going to be, you're going to have the full world or the full country, whichever place you're in, looking. And so that's a lot more people looking at the same stuff. But if you have access to your local Facebook Marketplace or a local sales site, that's probably going to be your best bet. Ooh, your favorite set from the Adventurers theme. That's tough. That's like my favorite theme of all time. Probably the Pharaoh's Forbidden Ruins. That's my favorite one that I own. The Dragon Fortress is also amazing, and the Amazon Ancient Ruins is also amazing. And I would take any set from any of the sub-themes of Adventurers. They're all great. Probably the Pharaoh's Forbidden Ruins is my favorite. This person asked my favorite Lego gear that isn't like a part or a figure. Theirs is the red suitcase from 1983. I do have one of those red suitcases. I do really I have a few shirts from like the 90s and early 2000s. So I do really like those. Always searching for more vintage Lego t-shirts. And I'm lucky to be at a point currently in my life that I can still fit into children's sizes. So a lot of those clothes were only made through like a youth XL, and I can still fit in like youth medium to large or XL, any of those. So yeah, I'm always looking for more youth-sized vintage Lego shirts. So probably those. I think I have 2 right now and a couple of my brothers. So what's the biggest mock you've ever built? As a kid, I built a ton of mocks. I don't know if other people had these growing up, but like the Thomas the Tank Engine wooden trains and train tracks. We had like the knockoff version of those because they're super expensive. But we would take the tracks and set up huge towns and build all kinds of massive buildings and stuff. But the only thing I still have built is a gingerbread house, which I did do a video on that. So if you go through my Christmas playlist, it's in there. And I mean, that's like 12 inches by 12 inches. It's just on like one of the 32 by 32 green base plates. Probably the best thing that I ever built and largest is that gingerbread house, which was in 2008. And I still have it together. Every so often I'll try and take it apart and wash it and put it back together. It's an ordeal. This person asks, what is your favorite Lego theme? Which I kind of just answered. I absolutely love Adventurers. So that's probably my favorite. Obsessed with, the classics. So space, pirates, castle, and then Harry Potter and Belleville. So I'm definitely more of a Lego original kind of girl. I really like, not the co-branded themes, except for Harry Potter. I don't think there's anything wrong with the co-branded themes. I really prefer the Lego original classics. So I would love a new castle line, a new pirates line, a 90s style space theme or 80s style space theme. It's tough to just pick one, but if I could only pick one, it would be Adventurers. Oh, this actually works out well. This person asks, if you could choose any classic themes to reboot, which ones would you choose? So any of the ones I just listed, but only with the stipulation that they would have to be at least more closely stylistically similar to those vintage lines. When they update them too much, it just ruins the nostalgia. So I would want them to be a little bit more on the simplistic side opposed to a million tiny pieces with no discernible function. Alright, this person asked, what's your favorite castle minifigure? Which is a super difficult question because there are so many amazing castle minifigures, but I really like this guy from the Royal Knights Castle. I just think his cape is so cool. Love the classics. So he's definitely one of them. And then from the Yellow Castle, any of the guys that have these cool feather plume helmets, that's one of my all-time favorite pieces. At least minifigure pieces. So any of those guys. Now there are a ton more that I love, but I think those are definitely top running. All right, this person asked, what are some pieces that give you joy for this person, they've always loved the frog and letter tiles. I like your vibe. That's very Harry Potter in my feeling. There are so many great pieces. I recently mentioned like the Megacore Magnetizer has that gigantic dome piece on it, and I'm obsessed with that piece. I think it's super cool. I also really just like the classic wand pieces, which I know is just like a 4-length bar, but growing up with that piece and using it as, you know, a wand, loved that. Also, any of the food pieces. I was obsessed with the little pizzas as a kid. We would set up like grocery stores, that kind of thing, with the apples and bananas and all of that. So I loved those pieces. Pretty much anything Belleville, because they always came in super cool colors. So like the little perfume bottles or like the hairbrush or any of those kind of things. I don't know. The list is endless. There are so many great classic pieces. This person just asked, what are your biggest motivations? I would say my top one is not working for anyone else. When I was working for other people, I would always burn out super fast. I know people who graduated college or high school and have worked for the same company or person ever since, and I have always been someone who worked like multiple jobs, so that way I never had to work full time for one person, and then I would still end up getting burned out after like 6 months. So I'm very competitive, so I'm always trying to like beat myself, basically. I want to end up doing better than I did previously. So every month I set goals for the next month, which is like, I want to be able to lift this much. I want to get this many watch hours on YouTube. I want to earn this much from TikTok. I want to have this many sales from my BrickLink store. I love filling out like Excel spreadsheets and that kind of stuff. So I have all kinds of charts where I can see what I did the previous month, see what my goal is, and then fill in whether I met it or not, how close I got, that kind of thing. So honestly, just always trying to improve myself is my biggest motivation. It's like also one of those things where I was like a super quiet back of the classroom kind of kid, and I've kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth when it comes to those people. So also that motivation of trying to prove everyone wrong who thought, you know, you wouldn't amount to anything, or that I was always just going to be that quiet, shy girl. Just kind of like your haters are your motivators, which is hilarious to say. I don't technically really have any haters, but yeah, just beating myself and trying to prove that I can work for myself, have my own company, you know, make the American dream work. This person asked, do you like Bionicle? If so, what's your favorite set? I do love Bionicle because when I was getting into Lego, it was right when Bionicle was starting. So I was absolutely obsessed with all of the tiny Bionicle sets they put out in the McDonald's Happy Meals. But outside of those, Tahu, if I'm saying it correctly, Tahu from 2001, set 8534 is my favorite. He just feels super classic, you know, original. This person asked what my least favorite Lego set is. Definitely don't think I have a specific set that's my least favorite. I mean, you've got like stuff that doesn't feel like Lego, like Galador, or I don't think there's one that's my least favorite. I would say if you're giving me the option to buy anything I wanted, it would probably not be a Star Wars set. Feel free to be very angry about that. It's just, there are some Star Wars sets that are great, but a lot of them are very redundant. And a lot of just like really boring color themes. I see people all the time talking about how some of the Ultimate Collector Series Star Wars sets are the best sets ever made, and I could not disagree more with that. So controversial there, but that's just how I feel. This person said, Lego builder, mini owner, Yankees fan, how do we know you're not AI? I guess you'll never know. I feel like I do a pretty good job of acting human, so... Ooh, this one's what are your white whale sets? Top one would be getting a monorail set. I'll say it a millionth time, Megacore Magnetizer. Pirate ship of any kind, I'm not picky. I just would like to have one pirate ship in my collection. Those are probably my top 3. So if anybody is selling any of those, please let me know. Oh, this one was, what was your first Lego set and what's your favorite? So I've kind of answered the favorite one, but I'll show you my first one. This is at least the first one I can remember getting. So got the telephone repair, which is set 6422, and I think it's from 1998, somewhere thereabout. This is the first one I remember getting. It's a Town Junior set. I know people hate it, but I love it. I think it's super cute. This person asked, which sets do I have with the box? I don't know. I have several hundred that I haven't even opened yet, so that's a very long list. And now I know you should be keeping the boxes, so for the last like 10 plus years I've been keeping all the boxes, so the majority of my collection I've bought has the original boxes. Anything I got from like a bulk lot doesn't, but I don't really ever plan on selling any of them, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just keeping them because I feel like I should. This person asked, what's your favorite Belleville set? It's incredibly difficult. I love them all. They're all amazing. Probably the Flower Fairy Party, which is set 5862 from 2003, just because that was like my first Belleville set. So I got all of the sets from that theme for Christmas that year, which was not a lot. It was like 4 or 5 sets. But just because it was the first one and it's what got me into Belleville, I would probably say that's my favorite. But I really do love all of them. I don't think there's a bad set in the series. This person asks, theme park choice. Do you go for the Unitron monorail or hot air balloon ride venture? Hot air balloons scare me, so I think I would definitely do the monorail. This person asked if I'm totally self-sufficient from BrickLink store earnings. I am, but I would not say that if you're like a person who is dependent on BrickLink store earnings to, you know, pay rent, or you have a mortgage, a car payment, that kind of thing, I don't know that I'd recommend it. I have very low bills because I live at home. That being said, money I make pretty much is going towards my student loan debt. But I'm currently not making enough that like I could make a house payment or a rent payment if I wasn't living at home. I am working on building. I mean, every day I'm working on building up my store for BrickLink, for eBay. You know, I get more subscribers most of the time every day on TikTok or YouTube, which leads, you know, to more money on those as well. I have a merch store, which brings in some money. So BrickLink alone, no, but when you combine a bunch of streams of revenue, yeah, I'm self-sufficient. I quit my part-time job in May of 2021, and so I'm like a few weeks out from being fully Lego sales as my way of earning a living for almost a year now. So, and it's gone well. Every day you never know though with the stock market's going to be, what the economy's going to be doing, and Lego is non-essential, so at any point people that need that money for food or rent or whatever might not be buying, so you just have to be willing to take a little bit of risk if you're going to do it, because sales is never guaranteed. This person asks, how much time do you spend on business/social media content per day? So I do 1 day a week where I film all of my TikToks, I take all of my pictures for Instagram, and I film a YouTube video. So 1 day of the week is strictly all of that, all the filming. And then I just edit here and there as I need to. I would say 1.5 days per week, maybe as much as 2 days a week of filming and editing. But I'm working on getting some systems in place to try and do as little of that as possible so that I get to spend more time actually uploading stuff to BrickLink and filling orders and that kind of stuff. So yeah, so basically 1.5 to 2 days per week. All of it's fun, so I don't really mind it. But I do want to get it down to as little time as possible so that way I can spend as much time with the really fun stuff, which is digging through bulk lots and uploading stuff to BrickLink. This person asked if I'm single. I get that question a lot. Yes, but I never leave my house, so that would be why. I've never been super into dating. I like being alone, which sounds really bad, but yeah, I stay at home and I sort Lego all day, and then I go to the gym in the evening, so it's like not a whole lot of opportunity to meet anybody. And this person asked, what are your thoughts on Exo Force? Exo Force came out when I was in high school, which I was obviously still getting Lego at that point, but probably not quite as much. I don't know if I got any of those sets. They look pretty cool though. I mean, I don't have anything against them. I think they were a unique theme. I sometimes feel like some of these series didn't get enough of a chance before they were canceled. So definitely cool. I would probably get them now if they were out. But yeah, it was during a time when I wasn't getting quite as much Lego. All right, I think this will be my last question. This person asked what my biggest set is. I think is the Ultimate Collector Series Hogwarts Castle, which is somewhere around 6,000 pieces, I think. I also have Diagon Alley, but I think that one's around 5,000. So yeah, I think the Hogwarts Castle set is my largest one. So I got a ton of questions. Some of them were repetitive. I tried to answer as many of them as I could, but depending on how this video does this time, I'll potentially do another one in the future, so if I didn't answer your question, I'm sorry, and feel free, if you want to, you can always leave it in the comments, and I try to answer as many of the comments as I get to. I also want to thank everyone who's helped me get to this point of 10,000 on Instagram. At the point that I'm filming this, I'm like less than 100 away, so I don't know if I'll have hit it by time this video actually comes out, but either way, getting to that point has been awesome, and thank you to everyone who follows me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and who also loves Lego as much as I do. I have a lot of fun doing all of this stuff and making all of this content for you all. So if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.